So I'll call the meeting to order at 6:02. Does everybody see the minutes?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
And the
Beth, it looked
amendments
like you
to
had
it.
did you have some change?
I had some updates. There were places, like there was one place just
Yes.
didn't catch my name. And yes,
I had caught that one, so hopefully that one's right.
okay. Misspelling of Devon's, just stuff since I was making changes, I fixed some other things, but
Okay.
that was the big piece, I think.
Okay. So with the amendments that Beth made, is everybody in favor of the meeting minutes?
Yes.
Awesome.
Okay. Consortium update?
I did forward the notes from our field trip. I didn't know if those also needed to be minutes because it was.
They do, and I don't know if she put those up or not.
Okay, I did send them just so you know they're out there. I think I copied everybody, I'm not sure.
You did, yep. So, actually, she's doing the minutes for this. Josepha, when you see this, we need to put the field trip meeting minutes up too. Okay. Is there anything from the consortium? Kate?
There was the Devon's date coming up, which is an RSVP, so I don't know if any of you all, we can bring 4. If 4 of us wish to go, that is out there. I can forward that email for RSVP. I'm not positive I can go. I mean, I think I can make it work, but.
Right, and I won't be able to go.
Okay.
What date is that again?
November 14th, it's a Thursday, it's midday, it's 1 to 3 at Devon. I am not sure if they're also going to Zoom it. I'll look into that.
What is the day of the week on that?
It's a Thursday. Because I'm in Philadelphia at a conference that day.
I could probably, if it's a Zoom meeting, then I could go.
Okay, let me double check on that.
When is this? What is this?
It's the Assabet Consortium, the group we belong to with Metro West. We can bring up to 4 people, so that might be something you want to attend.
When is it?
November 14th from 1 to 3 at Devon.
Let me just check my calendar real quick.
I have one meeting that afternoon that I am attempting to move. I am 80% sure I can attend.
I'm gonna, Josepha, if you can go ahead and post that just in case we have quorum at that event. Kate's gonna send over, or she did send over the timing on that. But I wanna make sure if we have.
It's the 14th. What time is it?
1 to 3,
I can do it. I can be there.
okay.
Yeah. I just have another trust meeting at 7 in that evening, but that's not in person. And that's in Devon, Massachusetts.
Yes.
Yeah, you be there. And then you want me to post that online?
Yeah, post it as a meeting of the trust, just in case I can duck in there too.
Okay.
Something in the morning, I might be able to pull it off.
Okay, I'll
I'm
do it.
having trouble pulling it up right now. I'm having a lot of technical difficulties with my internet today. So because I'm on Zoom, I can't access it on my phone. So I will send that RSVP around. It is supposed to be in person. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about Zoom.
Anything else from the consortium?
No, we haven't had a meeting and that will be our fall meeting.
Okay. Josipa, do you want to give the CMRPC update? You've been busy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I didn't go busy. Sorry, I was just.
No, I said you've been busy.
I was like, yeah, my camera's just been weird with the background, so I'm just trying to fix that, but please excuse my background. Yeah, I guess Lisa and I've been busy with everything. I guess we've been trying to, or I've been trying to scan everything through. I'm almost done with the scanning part, just seeing how the maps could be scanned in, but everything will be on the Google Drive. And I guess we're gonna be running into an issue with that in terms of like accessibility, because if we all want access, we can get it, but you would have to have codes that would get sent to Lisa's phone. So, which yeah, it's just a whole, I wish we could all just get access all together.
Yeah.
That would be great,
We
yeah.
have two-factor authentication, so at least it's coming to me now. We did sort that today. So if
Yeah.
someone's interested in seeing the like background information on Northbrook Village or any of those types of things, that's all scanned up to the drive now.
Yeah, and then besides that, I will be doing the admin work in terms of the agendas and the minutes and posting things on the website, as well. I think that will be great as a part of my role. So that's kind of an update. And I guess, we'll be applying for, the community, grant, the IT grant as well, so that we can try to digitalize everything and try to get everything on board with all of that, because I think we kind of need help with that. So that's kind of my update. Besides that, yeah. Just trying to digitalize everything, put everything all in one place. And also everything is in alphabetical order in the town I think the town admin office in one of the drawers. So if you do want to go ahead and see whatever documents you need, they're all in order and they're there as well, like hard copies.
They're in Kristen's office, and I think it's the bottom.
Yeah,
or in
yeah,
the second tab.
yeah, I'll like put a label on it next time when I go. So yeah, a lot going on.
Chasing people around. We're still chasing people around, trying to figure out exactly how a trust operates.
Oh, yes,
Why
sorry.
difficult, but we're still trying to
Mhm.
sort that out.
Yeah, and I have to reply back to that email, but I think we're all trying to set up a meeting with Shelley from Mass Housing Partnership to try to see how that goes. Trish from CMRPC, who's the deputy director, she says she's gonna get back to me with still. I've messaged her today as well, so she messaged them, so we're just waiting on that. I will also ask Chris and Shrewsbury how they went about it, to follow up with Lisa's email. So let's see what happens, because I think everybody's done it wrong. I think all of these is what I'm figuring out. I think because we have to trust in that's its own entity. So I don't know. I think the finances for even the other towns have been done wrong, and I think we're all just not knowing how to go about it. So I really hope Shelley will have answers in the meeting soon. So that's kind of what's been going on. The bills, I'm waiting on the CMRPC bill, so that could be signed off with you guys. That will be coming in shortly, but the bill scheduling for the housing consortium went out today. So that's also being in transition with my role.
I
So yeah.
introduced Josipa to Amy in June today, so she could do the bill schedule so we can make sure that the consortium bills and the CMRPC bills get paid on time. We still can't sign the consortium bills, but she did do the bill schedule and send it over to Tim Wheeler so that planning can take care of that, because that is in arrears.
So we don't end up with another late fee.
We can keep on top of that. in
Yeah.
that way, even if we can't directly pay it yet. And that I did see I'm assuming you've seen it too, Scott, the draft copy of the warrant does have something on it to transfer those funds over to us, which means
Yep.
then we can pay it directly.
Yeah, I would, at some point, I was gonna just go over like a quarter of all the warrant articles impact the housing trust. So I was gonna go over them and make sure that we're all on the same page on what's needed and not, and even though I don't think we're speaking on all of them, actually, I know we're not speaking on all of them, but they impact us.
And in the meantime too, June did say that we could just sort of, like, if we need to sign the MOU or if we need to pay Josefa or any, well, that one's out of a warrant article, but we can just do that in the normal way until we figure out how
Yeah.
it occurs with the trust. She said.
And then, yeah, and then I have also last week had a meeting with Maureen from the CPA to understand her role better so that that would be a better transition into this. And I think I'm getting the hang of things. I think we're getting the hang of things slowly and eventually, but yeah. So that's what I have for updates.
So we sort of discussed the trust financial setup. Scott, why don't you go ahead and give your update on the warrant?
Sure. The warrant articles that impact us, the numbers might be a little in flux because I think at the select board, we try to remove a couple articles we think don't need to go to town meeting. We can do it other matters. But right now there's 15 articles on town meeting. Article 7 is the CPA bylaw amendment, removing the housing partnership as the CPA member and putting us as the CPA member. I think it's coming from the CPA. I imagine that's going to be a 2-minute one that we don't need to say anything on. Article 10, I was wondering if we wanted to have an opinion on. That is to adopt a mass general law that allows the town to dispose and transfer property with just a majority vote instead of a 2/3 vote. I think you can make arguments for either one. I think if you do 2/3, you really make sure if the town's disposing of property, it's really something that a lot of people want. But then at the same time, a small group can block something. A majority, then a small group can also turn a lot of people out and have the town do something with land that's not really in the best interest of the town. But that is Article 10. I don't know who is actually even the proponent of it.
I know that
It says select board, although I don't think select board's taken an opinion on it. And so we also could, as select board, decide to pull that from the agenda and not vote on it. But I wanted to at least get a sense of what you folks thought of that before I said anything at the select board level.
Well, that was one, when Tim Wheeler and I talked to legal counsel, she actually recommended that when we talked about, potentially transferring property to the trust, she's the one who recommended that we look at potentially passing that. So
Okay.
it was really a recommendation from legal.
Okay. I will assume that generally we think that's a decent idea. I will make sure it doesn't get pulled to the select board. There's no one opposing it at the select board level, but I asked questions at it. So if I now say I've talked to you folks and it's fine, that will likely stay.
I would
Article-
just like to ask, actually, is that an item by item thing? I think at town meeting, I've seen where certain things come up to vote and it's been, accepted somehow or applied to have that applicable to a particular item?
This is
Is this an across the board bylaw?
This is
This is
across the
adopting
board,
the Mass
across the
General
board.
law.
Yep.
Yeah,
That-
I mean,
so
I
across-
personally object to that, because zoning is a massive part of property value.
This is
No,
not for
this
zoning. This
is
is the
town
transfer of property. So if the
property.
town decided to sell a piece of property, that now would require a majority vote instead of a 2/3 vote.
Oh,
Just-
okay,
Just town property.
Just town
Gotcha.
property.
thank you.
Yep. Article 13 is the one that's transferring money from the affordable housing donation account to the trust. The question was, how much do we want to transfer over? In some respects, because the Assabet Consortium annual fee does come from that fund. Now, it could be that it decides to come from the fund and that we just vote on it and spend it out of our dollars. To select, that June and Kristen were implying that that dollar amount has to be in the town budget, and the town budget needs a line item that they can pull from to do it. I am fine to argue that I think it's a housing trust expense. The housing should come out of the housing trust, and it does not need to be part of the town budget or the town budgeting process.
Yeah,
And thus, all the money could come over from that account to the housing trust.
yeah. I
I
wasn't
will-
aware of that particular
right.
thing, but yeah,
Um,
we would make sure the bills get paid.
Right. So I will, after this meeting, probably tomorrow, write the email that goes to June and Kristen. I'll CC you folks about, or blind CC you folks potentially, because we don't want to talk about things outside of a meeting, but that's saying that we think all of it should go over, and that consortium bill should be paid out of housing trust money, and that we will vote on that. It does not need to be part of the budget.
Or can we, I'm just curious, calculate it in a way that having it for the year to date be that, let's say I think it was like $900 something times 12, and just put that
Right.
amount in for that
Yeah, I think what
particularness
we'll do,
or
yeah, for
sorry, I
the
was
bill that just came out, because we
Mhm.
don't pay that monthly, do it? We pay it once a year,
So
right?
it's quarterly.
Quarterly.
sorry, it's
Right.
quarterly, yeah.
But anyway, whatever they've already paid, well, obviously won't be available for us to transfer, and that whatever the next quarter is, that we make a point of approving it and
To put it in the trust so that
put
we
it in the
can
trust, yeah,
pay it.
yep.
That makes sense. That makes sense. So the planning board doesn't have to consistently. Yeah, that makes it easier. Yeah, that makes sense.
And then Articles 14 and 15 are the Legion Hall and Allen Road. I, for the life of me, cannot find an address on Allen Road.
I was gonna ask if anybody had that, because even I can't even find that on any of the lists that I've been given, which is
No, and I had June at the select board meeting grabbed me the one folder that she says is town-owned land on Allen Road. And it does have a plot and lot number, or whatever those numbers are, that I've not looked up. But the document says that it's a 3.5 acre plot with buildings on it. And I am quite sure I don't remember seeing any buildings on the land that we walked through.
okay. So who do we,
I mean, I would recommend going to the
Right.
planning board, but
Well,
or-
and so I talked to James Holyoke only because he talked to me about something else.
Okay.
And he said he looked things up and he says, oh yes, the land at Allen Road is 100% in conservation. You won't be able to touch it for housing. And I'm thinking, no, it's not in conservation. We've talked to Carolyn about it. They have a different land that's in conservation. This is other land owned by the town. And so that could be also why this has fallen through the cracks, is that different lists have different information about it, and we're still trying to track things down. It does say that it's been owned by the town since 2006.
okay, so we do own it. It's definitely not in conservation.
Right.
I
How
think,
did you know that we owned it? What list was that on?
yeah,
I mean,
It-
not every property has an actual address.
right, it could be, because it just has it still has a plot number. It
Yeah.
is, dee-dee-dee-dee-dee.
I mean, certain things have to happen for it to have an
Right.
address.
So
That's
it is
true,
map
too.
ID like 19.0/27/0.
That's not the other Allen Road then, is it? We're sure that's the,
I am not sure. I got this Monday. I haven't had a chance to sort of just go onto like a Worcester County property map online and see like where does that think the boundaries
do
are of
you,
that particular
do you
property.
want to send the parameters to me, Scott, so I could perhaps look that up and try to do some research on it?
yeah, it's
Um,
between 104 and 120 Allen Road.
Yep. And so on the warrant article, I think we can't put an address on Allen Road. I think we have to do Allen Road, map ID 19/27/0. And there's a couple other numbers on it.
For some reason, I thought that was the Concom one, but maybe it's not.
June says that she went during the select board meeting when I raised it, she went to the files and said, this is the
Okay.
only land the town owns on Allen Road. Or that's in tax title on Allen Road.
In
Well, hopefully, we do actually own it. And
right,
that's the conservation property.
right.
And so-
Although it
on
does say that it contains buildings, when you looked at the appraised values, the only thing that has appraised values is land. The numbers for buildings are all zero. But
Yes.
it's, yeah, 3.85 acres. Acquired by the town in 2006, acquired by the previous owner in 1985.
I have, for 19
Yep,
27 Allen Road, I have town land vacant CR.
right.
Conservation,
Uh,
I thought that was the conservation property there. So do we not own, did somebody hallucinate that we own this?
it,
Maybe.
Carolyn would let us walk it, like Carolyn would have known.
Normally she's spot on.
hold on,
But-
let me see if I can get the field card here. That should say who owns it.
Right,
Town of Berlin, Concom owns it.
Yeah, but
No.
that's not the one we were walking on. That is the conservation land.
so we'll have to find at some
I
point
don't
the
think we even
maps.
have a
that was-
number on the one that we're
Maybe,
walking on.
maybe the 24 is wrong. Maybe it's another number. Maybe it's 28, 26.
Like I said, the one that Carolyn thought it was is between 104 and 120. It's the one between 104 and 120 for addresses. That doesn't help with the map.
Right, we'll have to sort of just dig.
Because Habitat did vote, you saw, I don't know if you all saw the email, but they did vote, their board voted to go forward with both Allen Road and the Legion Hall if we can get our act together with those,
Yep,
so.
Where did Kate go?
she did
No.
say she had issues with internet.
Okay, so, you said 14 was the Legion Hall, 15 was Allen Road.
Yeah, and that's the end of the agenda too.
Okay. All right. You guys kind of discussed Legion Hall. Where does that stand right now?
As you know, a butter has shown interest in buying it from the town. If the town goes up for transferring it to us. I think the select board was fine that the housing trust can do an RFP, and if the neighbor wants to apply for the RFP that we put out, they're welcome to it because it's going to be an open RFP. But there was not sort of objection, at least my select board meeting that I was, Chris wasn't there, it was just Peg and I. But it seemed like a decent thing for us. I think if, we end up trying to do this, we might expect that we might be ready for sort of someone saying, hey, I would give the town more money than Habitat will because we're planning on giving it to them. And the argument about why we shouldn't, as a town, take the most money we can get for the property. And I think it has a bigger need for affordable housing in the town and laddered housing for people who can stay in this town. And I mean, I think that's why we're doing it. I think it's why we're approaching Habitat. I think that's why we're looking at these things.
Yeah, I also think you can argue that that Habitat will we can set up the RFP so that whoever takes it can protect the historical integrity
Yep.
of the outside of it.
Right.
In a way that most would not. I mean, I would suspect that any other developer would want to knock it down, the neighbor would probably
Right.
want it down. I can't.
Right. So I think we want to protect the building, the historic building. We want it for affordable housing, and we probably want it where the future owner has to put some sweat equity into the house to be able to own it and go through some budgeting classes to make sure that they can afford it and understand how to maintain it and keep it up. And anyone who does that is more than welcome to bid on the property.
Did we get any more information about the status, like the cesspool and sort of, and the condition of that Fieldstone Foundation? Did we get any more information about that from any
I
source?
know that, the gentleman from Habitat did come in and check the crawl spaces and stuff with Fred. They got together and they just did that. I'm assuming that was the positive,
Mhm.
feedback from Habitat. I'm also assuming, I mean, we can check with Bill Brookings. I will put that on my list again.
Yep.
And see what he has to say about the property, but my gut feeling is that Habitat has dealt with all of these issues, so.
I don't want to overstate this. I had a fairly informal conversation with Roger Bradley.
I did
Yeah.
also,
Got right. And he thought that as long as the town maintains that there's a space for the Legion to meet when they need to have their meetings, that building is not sort of super sort of special to them as a location, as long as they have a place to meet. And I think he personally, not speaking for the Legion, thought that it would be, getting it to be used for some housing and some greater good for the town was a neat idea.
so we have, I guess we've sort of skirted around the field trip thing, but, just so that if anybody is watching this meeting, we did go on a field trip to several of the tax title locations. The most promising ones were the Legion Hall and the Allen Road property, if that is what we think it is. There is also a parcel on Baker Road that is potential. The parcel on Gates Pond Road would be very, very to pursue. Did we go? Was there one more? Or was that all of them? Baker, Allen, Legion Hall, Gates Pond. Is that everything?
I think that's everything.
There was just four. One,
It's just the four, yep,
two,
that's what I
three,
said.
yeah, four. Yep, four, yep.
Okay. So the trust had decided to pursue the two that we are discussing now. And we will continue to go down that path. I had no time to do anything with the MOU because of all the other things that are going on. Hopefully we will have something at the next meeting with that, just to get sort of a finalized copy. I think I have had folks vote that, the general draft that we had seen, we can, when we sort of get that completely full, I can take that and have Kristen have legal look at it just to make sure it's all good. See. The regional housing coordinator bill was not there. It was just the consortium bill. That's planning that does that. So we don't actually need to vote on that at this time.
And then for the next bill that's gonna come for the regional housing coordinator,
We'll
we've
vote.
asked, HR, so that hopefully that will get sent out so that we can get that one also to go to.
And that one comes out of the warrant article, so that's pretty straightforward. And Josepha, like I said, Josepha learned how to fill out bill schedules today, so she will get us the bill schedule. We'll be in person, and I think it's 3 of us who will need to sign that.
Yeah, majority, yeah.
Does anybody have anything further?
No, I'm good.
So
Trying desperately over here to figure out Worcester property line maps and see if I can find that property.
Yeah, if you
I
find,
apo-
do send an email, guys, because I really hope we own it.
I apologize, I missed the last 5 minutes of that, but how far did you get on the, Allen Road?
We can't figure out the plot we visited and if the town really owns it.
Okay.
It doesn't have a street address.
I can, maybe I'll also reach out to Carolyn and say, where did you bring us? Are you sure?
Right.
Because she seemed very, I mean, very sure, and she can, I mean, she can rattle off properties like nobody's business.
I know.
Who owns everything, where it is, what it is.
Kate, just backing up to the Regional Housing Consortium Fall Forum. So there's not like a form or anything, it's literally just responding to this like calendar RSVP is how we sign up.
You froze.
I think
So-
her internet
Yeah.
went south
Oh.
again.
Oh,
Bummer.
maybe an email will do
I'll
the
send
trick.
an email, I'll send an
Yeah.
email to the whole group confirming that we just click yes, and that means they'd be expecting us.
Okay,
Right.
Alright.
all right. If there's
So-
nothing else, I would ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second,
All right, have a good night, guys.
thank you
Thanks,
so much.
everyone.